So we have Olivia Manning with us again today. She was also obviously with us for part one. She's a 20-year marketing veteran and the executive director of Downtown Bernardsville, which is changing to Main Street, Bernardsville, right, in September?
Yep. Yep.
And I just wanted to also note that we have a couple of upcoming webinars that might be of interest. We have sales tax for online business on August 3rd and a crash course on ChatGPT with someone of note. Luigi has quite extensive experience, which you can see here. And that webinar is on August 10th. We've had a lot of success with the webinars associated with AI. But I know you're here to listen to Olivia and learn from her. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Olivia.
Awesome. Thank you. I will say that ChatGPT course, definitely sign up for that, especially after our discussion today. That's certainly a tool that will help you not just with your social media marketing, but all kinds of marketing across the board. And actually, we are going to talk about that a little bit. Canva does have its own version of that. We'll be talking about Canva a little bit today. So, just keep that in mind. And if you have that link for that ChatGPT course, definitely take advantage of that. That'll be super helpful. Okay, so like Nancy said, we're not going to do a lot of slides today per se, but we are just going to do a little bit of a review. After the last session, I encouraged some folks to send over their strategy plans for some critiquing. Sadly, I did not receive any. But that's okay. If later on down the line you would like to have yours reviewed, definitely drop me an email and we can set something up for a few minutes to discuss. I am here to help you make sure that this is successful for you. And I will say, again, I have to reiterate what we said last time, planning your strategy out is key for success. You can do Instagram all you want all day long. But at the end of that day, are you going to achieve any type of success or results? And the answer without a strategy is no, you probably won't. Yeah, you may see some activity, you may see some things happening, but you're going to find yourself working a lot harder if you don't have a plan in place. So remember that if you missed it or you need a refresher, I believe, Nancy, these are going to be accessible down the line as well. It's not like, you can't go back to session one. Definitely do that. Again, I'm always happy to answer questions if you need some help and guidance, but your strategy is key. And this hopefully will help with just sort of creating a focus for your strategy as well. So a lot of reasons for using social media specifically for your business are one of these 6 items here, sometimes a combination of 2, but really no more than that. For the example I provided in the last session was about our own with Downtown Bernardsville, our own goals for Restaurant Week. And now that Restaurant Week has come to a close, we can sort of wrap up those goals and see where we are with our metrics and our measuring tools. And that will be something that we discuss a little bit later on as well. Just to understand that, because those measurement tools will tell you a story, and that story will tell you whether or not you're successful, whether or not you've achieved your goal, and what to do next. Because social media is so quick and it's fairly temporary that you constantly have to be working on it to achieve success. So these 6 items, really, if you need to write them down, feel free. You'll have access to this information later. You can just refer to it later. But these 6 things, a lot of times when you use social media specifically, are the goals that you may want to consider when you're working on your strategy as well. Now, last time we had discussed our strategy plan for Restaurant Week, and one of the 2 things that we wanted to do. One of our goals was to increase our own social media following. The other was to promote our restaurant community. We are still receiving feedback from our restaurants, so I don't have enough data yet to measure exactly what part of the goal was achieved, or the whole thing was achieved, or just some version of it. So I don't have enough data on that to share with all of you, but I can say I have data on our first goal, which was to increase our social media following. And if you were with us last time, this may look familiar because we took our goal, we streamlined that goal, we broke it down into our strategy, which was to increase our social media following to about 2,000 followers on Instagram. And if you can see over here in the specific area, we said acquire 100 or more new followers in order to get to 2,000. And then it was over a 2-week period measured by the actual follows and any engagement for quality growth. Because having followers is great, but if they're just random people that will never buy from you or never engage with you, then it's really useless to have that big number. So that being said, we started at 1859. These are screenshots during the time. And then we ended up at 1,983. So not quite 2,000, but we got about 124 new followers as a result of our campaign. So I would say this was successful. We achieved our goal and then some. Do we want to get to 2,000? Sure. But again, we want the quality engagement. We want the quality followers. So we've gotten over 100. That's great. We achieved what we set out to do. Now the next step is just to keep that momentum going. Something also to remember, just a side note with marketing in general, social media only should not be your solution. There are multiple tactics, multiple things that can be done for marketing your business that should be done in conjunction with your social media plan. So while we're talking about that today, that's cool, but that should only be one portion of the things that you're working on. Whether it's print advertising, which is not totally dead, depending on your market. If it's an email blast from your own list or from using another publication or another source, definitely use email. In-person sessions, printed banners or printed signs that are out in the community, whatever the case may be, just other elements of marketing that you can work alongside your social media strategy so that you can actually achieve the results that you're looking for. For us to get here, we used a lot of influencer marketing as well. So we hired some influencers to come to our town to enjoy Restaurant Week and to really engage with that market. And that helped us get to where we were or where we are currently and growing, which is really great. So we are here today to talk about planning your social media in one day. Start with your strategy, keep your strategy in mind, and then we're going to focus on 2 specific tools, Plan and Canva. And the greatest thing about this match made in social media heaven, as I like to call it, actually Plan calls it that too, is that it's all built into the one platform. So you really don't have to use multiple apps or different websites or what have you. Canva actually can open up and Plan. It's more limited, but it can do that to allow you to do these things quickly. So what we're going to do now is stop this share. And I'm going to share. Where are you? Here we go. We're going to jump right into Plan because this is your tool for generating the content that you need. And I know at the end of last week, there were some folks, and I'm not sure if the same folks are here, but there were some folks that asked, how do I create a good hook with my my social media content? How do I get people to pay attention to what I'm writing about? And a number of other questions that were related to like, what do I post? How do I post? Like, what do I do? And Plan pretty much does it all for you. But if you don't have your strategy, you're still going to be wondering what to post, how to create a catchy hook, all of those things. Your strategy gives you that initial answer. Then your plan gives you the actual results. Okay. So when you first log into Plan, the website is plannnthat.com. Just simply referred to as Plan. You don't have to go, plan that or any of that. Whatever. Plan is really the basic, easy way to describe it. This is your home base. This is a snapshot of what you post on a daily basis. So you can click here. This is today. Yesterday, we did a thank you post. Nothing the day before. Well, nothing for a few days. Some more posts here. So it just gives you a snapshot of what you're posting. I don't use this very often. I just go straight to the actual post tool. So we're going to go ahead and create a post for Instagram. You can attach your Facebook account, your LinkedIn, a TikTok, and Pinterest if you have them. And then it all sort of schedules it automatically to each page. So when we go to the section to create our post. One of my favorite aspects of this is giving you an actual view of what your Instagram feed looks like currently and what it will look like once all the creations that you've made are posted. This gives you so much more flexibility to be able to modify what your feed looks like. You know how there's a lot of Instagram users out there that have these just perfectly organized and color box here, you know, however it's organized, but it looks almost perfect. This is one of those tools that I'm sure a lot of them use to create their posts, which they schedule ahead of time, to look the way they want it to, which is really phenomenal. So right now I don't have anything scheduled here. I've cleared it out just for the purposes of our discussion today. And here you have your platform, your creative platform. Okay. And Nancy, if there's any questions that pop up along the way, please go ahead and stop me. If someone's like super confused, like I have no idea what's going on, please stop me so everyone can be clear on what's happening.
I will.
Cool. Thank you. So here we're going to do a post. You can also schedule or create a story and a reel from here. A lot of times it's easier to do the video reels within the actual Instagram app itself, but Canva can also help you with that as well. So for right now, we're just going to focus on a post. We click on the plus sign here, right? Because we do graphics mostly, if not video, with Instagram. And you can upload a photo if there's a specific, only a photo that you want to use. There's a lot of other options here. You can, if you have a Dropbox account or Google Drive, you're welcome to do that. They do have connectivity to some free content, which you can use, but we're going to be talking about Canva today, and Canva has a lot of content as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this Canva right here. And if you've used Canva before, great. I will go into a little bit of a tutorial with the separate app because as I mentioned earlier, this is a little bit limited. For example, if I click over here on the left where it says Brand Hub, it says I don't have anything here. But on my regular app, all of my logos and everything are already in there, and my brand colors and all that fun stuff. So everything's already set up for me there. But when you're using Canva within Plan, it opens up immediately the Instagram square. So you have the perfect size. You don't need to change the size or figure out what size you need. And then it also gives you a whole bunch of templates with options for what you can post. Okay, so this is a really easy, great way to find what you need. Now, what to post, we're going to talk about that in a second, but this is just a really quick, easy way to figure out what you want to have your message look like, and then just get it done. I wanted to use this as a template. I'm going to use this one for my post, but just in the effort of time, it's just like a cooking video. I've already made one. Here's my pie right out of the oven. I've already made one. So this is a post that I'm going to do now, just so to keep you up to speed with the next step. Obviously we're not going to be posting anything else on Restaurant Week. So from that example, we're pretty much done. We've achieved our goal. Our next goal is to, as Nancy mentioned, we are changing our name from Downtown Bernardsville to Main Street Bernardsville, just something in an effort to be a little bit more inclusive. And so we are, for the month of August, going to be starting our rollout campaign where we start to announce it. We shift our website over, we change our social media names. We have a lot of different things, a lot of elements in place for changing our brand, which we are going to start doing. So this is the post that I'm going to be using. And I need to move the faces here. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and click on publish. And then it automatically puts it right into the image area here on Plan. In here, I'm not going to do anything crazy right now because I'm going to talk about captions in a little bit as well. But in this box right here, you can put your caption, whatever you want to say. We are changing our name, keeping it simple. Down here, there's a lot of awesome extra tools. You can tag a username. It's not loading. That's not helpful, Plan, but that's okay. You can tag some other accounts if you'd like. You can search and tag a location. We're in Bernardsville, New Jersey. Hopefully that loads. Internet connection plays a big part. Here we go. All right, so our Bernardsville, New Jersey location is in there. You can add emojis in if you want. I mean, this really has pretty much all the features that you would need. I don't have products for my organization, but if you have products and you're hoping to sell using your Instagram account, you can certainly tag some of those products right here as well. And then you can add hashtags. EasyLink we'll talk about in a little bit, but you can throw in some hashtags in there, whatever the case may be. Then down here, and this is another great feature that I love, After a little bit of time, once Plan is able to connect with your Instagram account, it can monitor what your best days and times are for posting. So you can click on your best times to post or when your audience is most online. Sometimes I find that there's a little crossover, but I go ahead with whatever their recommendations are. Oh, it looks like Friday coming up. That's great. I'm not going to post to Facebook right now, but it does give you the option to share a copy to Facebook. We're just going to keep it simple right now, just on Instagram, and then I will go ahead and I will schedule my post. Once you schedule it, it then goes into your grid. And this is the cool thing, is when you start to have multiple graphics in place, you can move them around. Now I can't move any around because those are already posted. And you can tell which is posted or not by these little graphics at the top. This one has the Instagram logo on top here, and this one has an A. So this will automatically go out as it stands on July 28th. If I realize, oh, that caption doesn't have enough information in it, I can click on it again and I can add more info here. And then I down here, update my post, and I put it in my scheduler, and then I move on to my next one. Make sense? Any questions yet before I continue?
No, no questions about this.
Nothing. Cool. It's a pretty straightforward process, very simple system. It makes it relatively, I want to say foolproof, so that you can just go ahead and schedule all of your posts. Now, this is how you are able to do a month of social media in one day, by using a scheduling tool. And in this way, you can create however many posts you think you want or need. If you absolutely have to do one a day, you can create 30. My recommendation is you don't necessarily have to do it every day. If you have been doing it every day and then you scale back, you most certainly will see that you don't get as much engagement. It's just a given, because people are so used to seeing you every day. And now all of a sudden you're not every day, there's going to be that shift. But if you're relatively new to this, or you've never really known what to do, posting every day, depending on your industry and what you want to achieve, not always necessary. So you can cut down your posts for a month by maybe about half, or even less or more, depending on what it is that you post, and also making room between these scheduled posts for some impromptu photos that are taken. You get invited last minute to an industry specific event. Great opportunity for you to take a picture of you being there or wherever you are and saying, oh, we had a great night with so-and-so company. We learned so much about X, Y, and Z. Can't wait to see you next time. Done. An extra post on a whim, right? So you could schedule 15 to 18 posts using this program for the month. And then in between, just randomly doing a post here and there. And then you've pretty much had a month of posts just already done for you. And if you don't do anything extra, you're still doing more than enough to continue engaging with your audience.
So I have a question. Can
Yeah.
you stagger posts? Like set the same post that posted on LinkedIn to post on Facebook 2 days later. So it sounds like staggering between apps.
You can, and Plan allows you to post on different days. That's going to be a lot more work for you. If you think that that's necessary or that works for you in your business, go for it. I would recommend more likely to whatever you're posting to one social network, have that push out to your other networks. If you really wanted to stagger, you can go into your other social media accounts that you have connected. So I just have Facebook here. I'm going to go to my Facebook account. So up here is my little profile. I'm going to go into my Facebook. And this now shows me some of my unscheduled posts, some things that we've worked on in the past. But you can do your own Facebook post here, and that's totally separate. And then you can just schedule it for whatever separate time that you want. So it's really up to you and what makes most sense. But if you're scheduling individual posts separately at different times on different days, that's just a lot of extra work. The only thing that's helpful is if you stagger the same post, then at least that way the content's the same. Hopefully that's helpful. So that's the basics of how to create a post with Plan. The best tools that are part of this program isn't really just the scheduling feature, it's the planning and the strategy. So if you go up here, so we have home, create, which is where we are. There's a calendar so that you can see a month view of what your socials are. Media is all your images and your projects and your posts already. Hashtags we'll get to in a bit. Here's strategy, right? We've talked about strategy up until this point. So at this point, with the strategy you did in session 1 with us, now you're ready to take whatever your goals are and apply it here into your social media strategy. And this is where you can figure out what you're going to post for the month. So for us, we want to do our new brand launch. So I'm going to go into it. So these are a lot of the regular posts that we do because we like to profile our sponsors for our events. We work on a lot of projects. We like to provide our community with updates. We have lots of events going on. We're always sharing something about the holidays and promoting other events coming up. So these are always just sort of consistent on our calendar. But a lot of times, I'm going to go down here. Here, let me X out of this real quick. Right here, a lot of times you want to have just some prompts. Okay, what do I post today? So down here, it says content prompts. And here, it provides you with ideas for what you can post. And there's 9 for the most part, depending on the actual content. This has an extension on it, so there's a lot more than 9. But you can select an industry. Now, I want to do a new brand, right? So I'm going to type in here and go brand launch. Personal brand is there. Great. So what does it give me an idea on? Tips on an expert topic. Okay. For us, that would be more related to walkability in a downtown, new businesses that might be opening, what kinds of grand opening ideas that you can do if you're starting a new business in town, that kind of thing. We have behind the scenes of our workspace, we're constantly doing events. We're in the office, we're out of the office, always happy to do it. Speaking event, I'm doing one right now. There's lots of speaking engagements that we have and connectivity with our town that we always are involved in. So that works for us. An inspiring business quote, definitely have lots of those that we could provide. A local business feature, perfect for what we do, and sharing our information about our local business community and so forth and so on. So I'm looking at these, I'm going, yeah, okay, I think I could post some things about this. I'm going to select it. It's now added into my grid here. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, in addition to our brand launch, we also have our 5K coming up in September, middle of September, and we have a lot of awesome fall haunted history, fun events going on for that as well. So I'm going to go back to content prompts and I'm going to say, all right, is there something holiday? Okay, seasonal holiday popped up. Let's see what that looks like. A relatable quote, always good. Share learning, holiday preparation. Okay, it doesn't have to be holiday. Maybe it's preparing for the 5K. Hey, we just got our shirts in. That kind of fun thing. Product shot, customer review, our process, how we do things. A lot of these things could work out for us. So I'm going to select that too. So now I have 18 options of what to post. I'm going to now add it all to my grid. And again, based on your internet connection, it can take a long time or not. And now I have in my phone looking thing here, all of these prompts for what my feed will look like. And I can now say, okay, picture from a speaking event. Well, let's say I'm doing one now and I want to take a picture and post that. I'm going to put it here. I want to put that here. Actually, I'll put it. Where'd you go? Next to Main Street. Where'd you go? Oh, it can work. It can not work. It's all good. So you can move all of these around based on where you want them to go. And then you could fill it in as you need. So, okay, an inspiring business quote. We are doing Ladies Night Out. I have in Canva, let's see, I actually have something from Ladies Night Out that hopefully is still here. Let's look at our designs that we've already done. There's Millicent right there. And our tour logo, haunted history. Oh, where are you? I had our bag logo. There she is. All right. This is a logo that we have, or an image that we have on our bags for Ladies Night Out. Millicent Fenwick, she's a fabulous woman in our history of Bernardsville, was one of the first women in Congress, really just put men in their place. Really fabulous quotes that she has. I love it. So we're going to put that here. And that is part of an inspiring business quote. You may never reach a solution, but you're never absolved from the responsibility of trying. So you know what? Sometimes things don't always work out the way we want, right? But we have to try and do the best that we can. So keep trying. whatever my caption will be, put our hashtags in, tag whoever we need to. Schedule, we can do it at a custom time, we can post it right away. We don't want to do that now. Best times to post, or when our audience is online the most. So we can go ahead and say, all right, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, do that on Instagram, and we'll schedule a post. And oops, scroll too far. There she is. So I have my picture from my speaking event today, which I'm going to snap in a little bit. I have an inspiring quote from a business here in between. I'm going to talk about our main street. I have essentially 3 posts already scheduled in the 10 minutes that we were just speaking. So if you continue doing that and do all the 18, or maybe half of those today, more later, depending on how many hours you have available in your one day, because one day we would constitute as 8 hours of a working day, right? You can essentially have all of your content complete for your social media in that one day. Again, base it on your strategy and your goals, and you'll be able to answer a lot of these prompts very simply on, a recent business lesson. Well, creating a strategy is the way to go. There we go. That's my next business lesson. Strategy. So these are not good captions at all. I'm just creating them in this way for timing, just to get the program clear. We're going to talk about captions in a little bit. But essentially, this is how you prepare your social media in the one day. You're scheduling it out. You're making sure that things are posting various days throughout the week, throughout the multiple weeks in the month. And then next thing you know, you don't have to look at your social media at all, other than to engage with people commenting, or commenting on other people's pages and profiles. And that's about it. Any thoughts on that before moving forward?
There are no questions at this point.
No questions. Awesome. Okay, another tool within Plan is up here with this calendar feature. Now you can see the timing of the posts that you create and the ones that you've previously created. These are the ones that we just put up a few minutes ago. There's Millicent there, and then the changing our brand, our name, right, for the next couple of days. But if you look at the top next to the number, there's some additional ideas and additional prompts. So if you are not really sure still, and the strategy prompts were not quite what you want them to be, or you liked one, but there's one you're not really sure what else to post, Plan is really amazing at giving you ideas. This is July, but they have it also set up for August. So if you're looking at every single day, they give you a suggestion on what it is that you can post about. It's Happiness Happens Day on the 8th of August. Who knew? But you can write something about that, right? Happiness happens. How does happiness happen to you? Maybe that's something that you can inspire yourself to think about it. But as you can see here, it's all already planned out for you, essentially, if those are the posts that you want to follow. If you look, September's already there as well. So really consider using this as your inspiration for being able to post your posts ahead of time and having them scheduled out, so you don't even have to think about whatever your plans are for social media for the month. Really, really awesome feature. I wish that I had more of a team here on a regular basis. I've had an amazing intern this summer, and it just made me realize I need more help, but having more help to be able to use a lot more of these resources more often. I have to be frank, I don't use them as much as we could, but they are amazing, and I preach it everywhere I go, because this is probably one of the best planning tools that I've ever found. Last but not least, we're going to review just hashtags here as well. So I'm not going to go into a long description of hashtags, because I really want to get into a little bit of Canva as well and talk about captions. But hashtags are really great just for folks to be able to find a conversation, or for you to be involved in the conversation. For example, right here on the top, there's a lot of hashtags that are right here. This set of hashtags that are related to activewear, fitness apparel. If people are looking for fitness apparel, they could use Instagram as a search engine. In fact, Pinterest is not considered a social media account or company. They're considered a search engine, and they use visuals, photographs, imagery of some kind to help folks find things that they're looking for. So consider hashtags as part of your strategy. And the great thing about Plan, a number of things are great about Plan, but here's another one, is that you can receive sets that they already have built in. You can create your own set. So these are also some that are created, some we've used before. I use the restaurant set, obviously with Restaurant Week that we just had, we use that quite a bit. And then there's a number of other things as well here too. So we wanted to do branding, right? Let's see if there's something for branding. Branding, personal branding, here we go. Personal branding tip, that doesn't necessarily fit, but we're copying the set. Copy it here, copy it from here. And then when you go back into create, let's go back to our post here. Should be able to paste. And then all of these hashtags are in place. Up to 30 is recommended, but you don't have to do all the way up to that. You can do less. Personal branding tip, this isn't a tip, so I'm just going to take that one out. Doesn't really make sense. And then you can, go along the hashtags that are there and remove any that don't really necessarily make sense for your post. But this is a really great way of getting hashtags just automatically in. You don't have to do a lot of extra work. You don't have to type them all out. They're just there for you. You do want to be careful with hashtags, is using them the same ones for every single post all of the time is redundant and will no longer help you if you use it too many times. So just be mindful of how many times you use hashtags in your posts. Any thoughts up until this point?
Nope, no questions.
Still good. Everyone's still following. It's pretty cool. With Plan, as with any other type of work that you are able to do, the great thing about being in a digital marketing world is you're able to actually put a number and measure the results of your efforts. So for us, we're going to just discard that for now. So for us, we have been doing a lot of posting up until this point, clearly, and Plan has a really great feature where they show you the best performing colors in the posts that you've created, which should give you some insight on your branding as you move forward. Maybe you need to refresh your color palettes and, maybe these are the colors that work best for you in that moment. It depends on the campaign you do, give yourself a few months to really measure out your strategy, and especially with your social media, so that you can see if there is engagement. We're up 58% in engagement. 153 doesn't seem like a big number, but up 58%. That's pretty good, especially with organizations that don't always get, or companies that don't always get a lot of engagement. Growing over time organically is the best way to go. So all of these metrics is really, really crucial for you to be able to understand and hear the story that your social media is telling you. We've made impressions, and folks have seen 3,000 people essentially, or accounts have seen our posts over the last month. This is over 30 days. So, that's really helpful to know. For our stories, we've had 4,000 impressions. So, okay, maybe our stories are a little bit more engaging than our posts are. That might be good to know. Maybe we'll do more stories as we move forward in our brand launch campaign moving forward. Profile views, website clicks. Obviously, this is down. We're coming right out of an event. Usually that's the case. But this shows our follower growth over a small period of time, just the last few days. So, we're still going up. Even if it's stagnant for a little while, don't worry about that. It'll grow. You just need to be consistent and keep it going. So always look at metrics anytime that you're doing any kind of marketing campaign to help you understand your story about what it is that's working, what's not working, and what you can do next to either enhance the promotions that you're doing, make them better, switch it up, whatever the case may be. So really pay attention to whatever it is that you're working on and your metrics to help you with a story. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to take you over to the design portion of things just to help you out with this create space, right? To quickly be able to say, okay, I want to take let's see, process, holiday prep, share learning. What can we write about right now? Product shot, tips on an extra top local business feature. Perfect. Let's do that. Local business feature. So we have our ladies night coming up. We have a lot of businesses that we work with. We don't like to work with just one business or promote just one business. We like to work with them as a collective whole. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to share Canva real quick. There you are. Okay, I will assume a little bit that many of you have used Canva before. So I'm not going to go into super crazy detail, but if any of you have not, definitely search up some tutorials. Canva has a lot of great how-tos within their company profiles and on their website. So you can definitely look into that. So we're just going to go over a little bit of a basic just to kind of guide you along with creating content for your social media. One of my favorite things, I mean, I have so many favorite things about both of these programs, it's hard to keep it limited, but you can create something that is perfectly sized for what you need it to be for. So I'm sure if you've created a Facebook event before, or if you have a profile and you need that header at the top, and you're like, I don't know what size it is, how do I create that size? Ask Canva to do it for you. So you have lots of option here. You can create documents like Word documents. You can make presentations. That's how I created the one that we've been doing here last week and this week. Social media posts. You actually can create videos on here. Let me tell you, it's awesome. You can create intros, outros, whatever you need to create a video. And you could do it also for Reels and social media as well. So speaking of social media, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. You can do your Instagram square, which is basic. You can do a story, a Facebook cover, which is what we were talking about. It literally just does it all for you. It's amazing. You know, since we did a post already a little bit earlier, a square post, let's create a story. Again, it can be just a still story, or it can be a video or a video that doesn't have a lot of movement, like similarly to one of these. So let's see, we wanted to showcase one of our businesses. Let's look at the templates that we have here. All right, some are awesome, some not so much. There's also another post that we want to create about creating a poll, which is great. That one's okay, not so much. Let's go back. So you can always just look around and see what fits and works for you. Or what you want to create. And you could do multiple pages and say, oh, I don't really like that one. I'm going to delete it. Let's do this one. Instead of it saying new posts, you can say, let's say there's a new business in town, new business, right? Oh, that's too long. We can make it smaller, right? And just for the purposes of time, we're not going to go too crazy here. Too many times. Like here, downtown Bernardsville.org. Okay, that's great. If we want to do another element of our story, we can say add page. And let's see, ladies night out. Can we put ladies night out in here? Reminder. Ladies night out is tonight. All right, so there's a post there. Now, once you're all done with whatever it is that you would like to be creating here, you can go ahead and save it. Now, just so you are aware, you can resize your post. In fact, if you want to make a story, but you also want the same design as a post, you go to Instagram Square here, copy and resize, and it creates a whole new version of the exact same thing, but in a square format. So then you just take your content, highlight it all, change the size a little bit so it fits better. And now you can create a post as well as your story. Make sense? Photos are really cool. You can edit the photo. You can create, you can remove a background. I'm not sure what kind of background will come out of this photo, but if you have something that has a background on it and you just want a silhouette of a person or an item, whatever it is, well, there you go. It just removed the background from this, which is pretty cool. I deleted that, but let's see, let's make this a different color. So now you have the items with no background. It's a little bit more versatile. Pretty cool, right? So you could really just play with whatever it is that you need it to be. And you don't need any major design experience. It's all here for you. You just play around with it and whatever makes sense for you. This position just sort of centers everything for you. If you want it to be centered, animate, obviously, make it zoom in, whatever you want that to be. So there's a lot of features there. If you want to change colors, you can change color. This is my brand palette, but the photo colors, you can change it to make it fit and match your photos, or pick any colors you like. There's a color picker here as well. I mean, there's so many features and options that are available to you to make the post your own and to have it be making the most sense. If you don't want to make any changes, then don't. If it's perfect as it is, there's a lot of times where we want to say, happy 4th of July, and you just find a post and you just post it as it is, and that's totally fine. Great thing is it saves automatically, so you do not have to worry about losing your work. So if you really have to, there is an option if you go to file to save it, but all changes seem to already be saved, which is great. Any questions, thoughts up until this point?
There's no questions, but so you saved this by doing it in Canva. So now if you go back to plan, will you be able to pull it up from there?
You can pull it up when you go into projects. It's saved it automatically. See, it's right there. Here's the story one, and then here's the post. But you also don't necessarily have to do that. You can go over here to share. You can download it, and you can download it in multiple formats. So if you're creating a flyer that you want a local printer to print, you do your PDF print, you make sure it's CMYK. That's a whole different concept, but we can talk about that stuff another time. You select the pages you want to save, just the one page, and you click done, and it saves it as a PDF. If it's for social media, PNG is suggested. It's the best thing that you can do for online. If you're not printing it, PNG is fine. You just click download, and it saves it to wherever you want to save it on your machine. Or if you do it on your phone, which Canva has a phone app and an iPad app, so you could really do it anywhere. And then you could just pull up that image. So a lot of times if you're doing something quick on your phone and trying to get a design in, it saves it into your camera roll on your phone. And then you could just pull it when you go into Instagram. You open your Instagram app, you say add photo, you add the photo that you designed, it's in your camera roll. So there's lots of features that you could do that with. But if that's the case, let's say we did that and we did our story. Let's go back to plan. Everybody sees plan here, back in action.
Yep.
Up here we have stories, right? I'm going to add a story. Let's go back to Canva up here. Now it automatically sets it up for you to create a whole new story if that's what you want. Or again, we go to our projects, we go to our story. Doesn't look like I see it. Yep, there it is. And then we click publish. Now, don't forget, we're working with technology here. So there's going to be some glitchy things. There's going to be some internet-based, not so great things, like how it's not showing up right now. Just be patient with it. Sometimes it could be a browser. I use Safari, which is probably one of the worst browsers to use for anything social media or anything like that. So if you have Chrome or Firefox, always a better bet. I'm just so used to working with Safari. That's just what I do. So that gets us going with our story, and then we can save it and or post it and create a custom time for our story. One last tool in Canva. We talked about the idea of captions and what to write for a caption. And this is also why earlier in this discussion, I mentioned sign up for that ChatGPT, because that's something that can really help you as well. But Canva actually already has a version of AI right here in this docs option. You can create something like you would a Word document within Canva. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility with designing that document. So if you wanted to do a nice looking letter, or you needed to hand in a report and you wanted it to look a little bit more visually appealing than just a basic Word document, this is a great place for that. So you can go to doc here.
You're showing plan.
Sorry.
That's all right.
New share. Thank you for stopping me. Let me close this and start over. We go to home, docs, start writing. and here, this plus sign here, we're going to add a little magic to what we want to write about. So we're going to go on magic write. What did we say? Let's talk about the brand launch. Oops, type write an Instagram caption about launching my new brand name. Nope, press the right button. Here we go. And here we go. Maybe not exactly what I wanted it to say, but we can modify this. You know, welcome to, we can change it, right? Say, welcome to Main Street, Bernardsville. We have achieved a major milestone and a proud moment in our you know, you rewrite, and same thing goes with ChatGPT with whatever it is that you search for. And I should probably sign up for that ChatGPT session too, Nancy. You know, depending on what you search for and how you search for it, you want to change it anyway. You need to make it more you. So even if I copy and paste all of this, a lot of this doesn't fit, but if I modify it, like I just did those first 2 sentences, it makes a ton of sense for what I want it to say. And I don't think I would have, if I just thought of it on my own, I probably wouldn't have said, welcome to Main Street, Bernardsville. That's a really great assistance in the process of being able to create a catchy line that says, we are launching a new brand, like welcome to Main Street. So it's a really helpful tool to just within the one program to really help you with your captions. Perhaps I should have chosen a different search option, but you know, that's okay. We all work with what we can. So I'm copying that. And I'm going back to plan and discard that because I don't want to post it. I'm going back to this post here. And then see, I wrote, we are changing our name. That's boring, but this is way more exciting. I also would highly suggest, if you do not know it already, there's a feature called Grammarly, which is fabulous because it really helps you with punctuation, spelling, rephrasing sentences. It's fabulous. And look at that. It also gave me hashtags. So this is, again, a really great tool that gives me other suggestions. It's a really great tool to, you know, just get your captions done really quickly. And again, getting to that social media in one day concept. Make sense?
Yeah, Olivia, somebody missed this section on hashtags. Do you want to just show at the top of the screen where that hashtag access was? I think it's just at you need to scroll up. Yep, right there.
Yep. So just go back to home real quick. Actually, no. Let's go back to where. Home, create, which is this area, your calendar where you had prompts. Your media, where it just shows you all the posts that you've created, what's on hold, what you've published, etc. Your hashtags are up here. And it has sets already in place on just generic, more generic topics. But it really depends on what you need to, what works for you in your business. And you can search, you can create your own set and go from there. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Strategy again is over here where you can put your prompts in. If you decide, I don't like any of this, it's not going to work for me, you can select and you can click all of the ones you want to remove. Whoops. Click, and then you can delete them, remove them from my grid, and then you can start over. Same thing with your strategy. Let's clear it. I want to move on to the next thing. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Content props. I want to run a sale. And I put those in there. Add them to my grid. And again, moving things around for it to make sense. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I really would love to open up to more questions if anybody has any. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to what we talked about today, other than the fact that it should be social media related, because that's what we're talking about. But if it if it's something to do with your strategy, any thoughts on your on these two programs, I'd love to hear it. I will say that if you, so Plan and Canva are both free. They are, when you start out with them, they are totally free. If you would like to splurge, if they're working out really well for you and you want to purchase the annual fees, they're actually not super expensive, probably around $100 for each one. The return that you get from using those programs, it's well worth a couple $100 for the year for using those. If you happen to be a nonprofit, you can get Canva for free. All of the pro tools that you would normally pay for, you get them for free. Thankfully, we do, because we are a nonprofit. If Plan is something that you are interested in getting a purchase program, I actually have a coupon for $10 off of that. If that's something you want to use, I'll send it to Nancy. She'll send you the link for that. You can access that as well. But outside of that, those two programs, if you work with them together and take some time to review them, like I said, make sure you have your strategy so that you do not fail at what you want to do. There's no reason why you can't be successful at doing any kind of social media, let alone Instagram.
Anybody have any questions? I mean, I think I've seen this presentation twice. And the more you delve into it and try it, I think is the key. So take one of your strategies, what is one of your goals, and start, as Olivia had, with one Instagram or one of the social media, and just work through it, the logical process. And the more you do it, the more information that the plan has in its toolbox for you. And then the more comfortable you are, the quicker it'll be. So there's a lot of power between these two tools that can be used, but it's going to take a little bit to get comfortable with it. But I use Canva a lot for designing things. It's fabulous.
Oh, I mean, you do not have to be a designer in any capacity to use that program. I mean, it does it all for you. And I will say as well, Plan is really, really awesome about updating their system. So if there's something that they can't yet do, like automatically post to a platform or whatever it is, within a couple of months, they fix it. And then you can start doing it. So they're really good about staying on top of it. And they also have a lot of really awesome information. So if you at minimum sign up for their emails, they will send you, first of all, they'll send you the calendar prompts, right? So you get, before the month starts, you get a full calendar of all the ideas that you could post for the next month. They also email you guides, blogs, information, algorithm updates. They really help you stay on top of social media information moving forward. So Plan, I think, is so underrated and not a lot of people use it. And I don't work for them, and I don't really make any money from working with them or doing any of it or telling you this. I just know that it works really well for me. So I love to be able to share that with folks who don't know it exists. So at minimum, sign up for their emails if you can.
Unless there's any questions, I'd like to thank everybody for attending today. Olivia, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
For your 2 weeks of presentations, and we look
Love
forward
this.
to continuing to work with you and your organization. We have one question here. Will you be automatically sending out these session recordings, or only on demand? Once I have the recordings on the website, I can let everybody know they're out there and send the link to them. So the first one hasn't been posted yet, but we should get them out there shortly.
I just threw my email quickly in the chat as well. So if anyone has worked on their strategy and wants me to look at it, or if you have any additional questions, just go ahead and email me. I am happy to, help you if you need a little follow-up.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Good luck with your social media, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you all.
Take care.